In this video I wanted to go over the basics of the assault pack. Now, not to be confused with a day pack or a patrol pack. The assault pack, at least in my definition, the assault pack is a little bit different. It has a different purpose than the other two. Now, a day pack is good for up to 72 hours. Generally, that's the idea for most designs, is they're looking to give you room and the ability to sustain yourself for up to 72 hours based on what the company thinks, right? And the patrol pack, up to about 24 hours, because generally speaking, worst case scenario, that's what you're going to encounter. So the assault pack, very lightweight, very easy to use. This is a hydration pack, but it is loaded as I would load it as if I was going to go on an assault, if you were. So an assault pack, you're looking at worst case scenario 18 hours, but logical median is 12 hours. So if everything goes to hell. Now, some things that we need to keep in mind is with these packs, whether it's an assault pack, a day pack, or a patrol pack, we are not packing just for ourselves. We are packing mission essentials. We're packing to support ourselves, but we're also packing to support our team. So therefore, you may actually carry 6 magazines on your person, but you might have a mission where everybody is supposed to be carrying an extra, or the whole team needs to carry an extra, a 3-man team carries an extra 180 rounds. So each person will probably want to not be a jerk and carry an extra 60 rounds and 2 loaded magazines on top of whatever extra ammo you think you're going to carry. This realization, and when you actually start loading for the mission first, then you're going to realize that a lot of your petty what-if scenarios are not going to be able to fit into your pack without getting a little too heavy. Because a lot of people, most of the time, they daydream about all the crap that they're going to have. They're like, well, I'm going to carry a poncho and a poncho liner and all this other stuff on an assault pack just in case I'm there for the night. I can tell you, if you're there for the night, when you're there for just an assault, you might want to look at history and, like something that happened in 1993. They didn't exactly have time to break out poncho liners. Things went bad, and so your priority is probably going to be having a little bit extra ammunition. Now, that's also going to depend on your team. Now, again, that goes back to the mission and stuff like that. So, just an example, a quick example, an assault element is going to be maneuvering more, hopefully more than it's going to be firing. The support by fire team is going to be firing a lot more than the maneuver element, the assault element, or the support team. So, generally, they're going to carry a lot more ammunition, and the support team is probably going to have to help leg that, as well as the water for everybody else. And the assault team is probably going to be let off the hook on a lot of the crap that they're going to have to carry. So, just keep that in mind. Redistributing or distributing the load is going to be a very important thing when you're working in a team. So anyways, I wanted to go ahead and show you what's in my assault pack just to give you an idea, and this would be a general minimum for people. Keep in mind, depending on your team, depending on your mission, you might have extra comm gear, you might have extra illumination or signaling equipment, whatever. But this is an assault pack. This is up to 12 hours. Extreme, this would still work for 18 hours, at least for me. This is basic, and this is pretty much what I would take for 18 hours, considering I have like 6 or 9 mags on me. So just keep all that in mind. I have 2 quarts of water on me, and I have 6 or 9 mags, depending. Doesn't really matter. The amount I have in here wouldn't really change, but that's what I have, and I have sufficient medical gear. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get to this pack and show you what's in it. So as you can see, this is a hydration pack as I showed you, and this is really cinched down, and it's pretty well policed. I mean, not all these straps are policed up the way I would have them policed up. You should have electrical tape on you so you can quickly take this stuff and roll it up the way you need to. But generally speaking, this is pretty well cinched down and just the size it would need to be. Now, some of these things I would actually have in a butt pack, and I wouldn't actually need this, but I'm basically packing them as the way most people would because they don't believe in butt packs for whatever reason. But I find them to actually be pretty useful, and it would still work with this pack. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into this pack, and we'll start with the outside here with the first thing. This is a very easy pack to get to because it's bigger, and I have 3 magazines. 3 magazines extra, so I know some people would be like, well, you're not really prepared for every scenario. This is the basic stuff. It depends on what your role is. If you're part of an assault element, you're going to be moving and shooting more, and that's what your support element is going to be there for, is to carry a little bit more, and they're probably going to be shooting very little, if any, depending on the situation, and you can always get mag from them, so slow your roll, dude. So anyways, that's this big pocket. It's pretty much just carrying ammunition. I don't really need to look like a bumblebee during the patrol. So this top one is going to be, my general Yoo-hoo stuff. So it's going to be a boo-boo kit for deep cuts and stuff like that, because you're more likely to have deep cuts than anything else. Of course, I have my trauma kit on me. I have a little bit of 550 cord for lashing stuff on if I need to. So if somebody gets hit and I need to have more equipment, I probably need to strap it on or whatever. Depending, maybe you need a dummy cord, something because something failed. I don't really need duct tape, but never hurts to have it around. But keep a detainee shut, quiet. But anyways, some signaling devices. You'll probably need that for the mission. It never hurts to have it as well. Good to be able to signal, other people in your team. And here's the thing, duct tape does come in handy because you don't really need the wrapper on these things. So what you can do is actually wrap them in duct tape, except for the ends here, and then you have a little light, a little spot right there. So it's not really as good as a laser pointer, but it's probably better than a laser pointer because you can always just cover it up and then do a little field morse. But with all that said, that's this little pocket right here, all this pocket full of sunshine right there. Now with the main compartment, as you can see, I have the zippers at the top. That's for easy access. Not really needed, but I have this zipper open. I was thinking maybe I could move some stuff in there, but not necessarily. So what I have in here, main compartment, not really going to be stuff that's necessary right away. I have more than enough food for myself. This is basically a whole MRE that's been lightly field stripped, but it's still a waterproof container. This is more food than would be necessary because in my role, it's distributed, and I am carrying all the food for, up to 12 hours. So, this is plenty of food to share. So, then I have water. I'm carrying twice the amount of water that would actually be my minimum. So 1 canteen would be good enough for 12 to 18 hours. At worst, because I'm already carrying 2 quarts of water on me. This is more than actually necessary. I'm just relieving somebody else so they can carry more ammo or whatever. So this is kind of an idea where you'll be carrying the bare minimum in some things, and then you're carrying more than somebody else in others, just to kind of say, I'd rather carry the water than extra ammo. But whatever. So the last thing is something that you could just put in a butt pack, but everybody likes doing things the hard way and just throwing everything in their pack. One person in each team can have a poncho. If things go bad or whatever, I would say the assault element doesn't really need to have it if you're going to be on the move constantly. But if you're going to have rain, then yeah, you should probably bring like a Gore-Tex and fold it up and strap it to the side if you know you're going to have rain. But worst case scenario, I would say that the poncho would mostly be something that you would put with the support team. And the ponchos aren't just good for rain. They can also be good as carrying casualties as well, depending on the poncho you have. So it can be something that you can use for carrying casualties as well. Just FYI, not exactly the prettiest thing to think about, but yeah, that's all the stuff that I would have. And I would have the poncho at the very bottom, and I'd have the unnecessary amount of water on there, because the idea of actually having to go in here and refill your stuff is kind of ridiculous. Most of this stuff that's in this top pouch would actually probably go into this pocket on the inside, this mesh pocket, but I would end up putting like my own refills for my MRE contents, the food on my person, I would refill it out of this pocket or whatever. So if you want to see that video, it's basically how to prep an MRE for patrol. So that'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So just like these magazines are for putting in your pouch, that MRE is for putting food on your person. So you don't need to have a whole MRE wrapped up in your pack. You can actually stage it on your person so you can be on the move or work while you're eating. So with all that said, that's pretty much it as far as the assault pack goes. It's really simple. You can carry a good amount of stuff in there, but you don't need to carry all that much stuff. Depending on your mission. This is just an assault pack. You're supposed to be on the move. You're supposed to have a mission that you're supposed to be doing, and you just need a few items for contingencies. And I can tell you, a poncho is going to be a lot lighter than a stretcher. It's going to be less awkward. And some of you guys might prefer to improvise for worst case scenario rather than having an item that one person carries. I don't know. But that's all on you to figure out for your specific missions. But I just wanted to show you the basics based on my experience and stuff like that. So I appreciate you all watching, and you guys have a good one.